Abaso. But I think PSG Football Club started something that we need to appreciate them. It's not only about Luis Enrique, but then the share or more system, no more projects, no more shares way back in 2010. Now it started with a particular coaches. They thought it was bringing them into the football club. They can easily turn things around for them in the club, because PSG at that time, after a Carter for invested in the football club. They needed to buy in a lot of players, bring in well-experienced coaches for them to make sure some projects will become a complete project for the next future and even for the next generation in the French Ligue 1. So they brought in a certain coach called Carlo Ancelotti in that particular season, the 2011-2012 season. When he came, they knew the experienced nature of Carlo Ancelotti. I coaching the side of AC Milan, we are coaching the side of Chelsea Football Club, Napoli, at least he would have added a lot of experience, give them that kind of Champions League story because of what he did with AC Milan, all the 2 trophies with AC Milan when it comes to the UEFA Champions League. But then when he came, he started that kind of tape and dominating in the French League 1. So in the 2010, 2011, 2012 season, he was able to make sure able to win the French League 1 for the side of Paris Saint-Germain at that particular moment in time. Once France won man, or twice did the trophy, the champion, the Coupe de France by the side of Paris Saint-Germain. But the one particular tenor, Emma PSG for Etimija Papanakwano was the type of quarterfinals at 10 beyond the PSG Football Club drew in the UEFA Champions League and Nkoye and from Carlo Ancelotti. So in the very 2 seasons of coaching them at the side of PSG Football Club, he was not able to qualify PSG Football Club from the quarterfinal stage, the semi-final stage. There was Subujana Kwainoko. A certain coach will take over. The side of Laurent Blanc will take over from the side of Carlo Ancelotti, because they thought otherwise. Some call Laurent Blanc at the number. He is a typical French coach, and then he understands the culture. He knows the values of that particular football club. Bringing in the side of 2013 to 2016 on Wankasa last time, the side of PSG Football Club, Nkobeti may win a lot of trophies. In fact, in the 12 domestic titles, Laurent Blanc ever told you in the French League 1, he was able to win 11 out of 12 domestic titles for the side of PSG Football Club. He qualified them to the Champions League, made sure so they drew also into the semi-final, into the quarter-final stage of the competition, and then he was not able to actually qualify them to the semi-final stage with his project. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was able to score close to about 121 goals for the side of PSG Football Club. One of the core things happening on Laurent Blanc, the kind of tactical formations of them at PSG, was actually the defensive solidity of the matter side of PSG Football Club. But then that kind of encroachment in the UEFA Champions League on also in the early part of 2016. When he went, they needed to bring someone who had that kind of Europe trophies at his hand. That was Unai Emery. In fact, Unai Emery, obeying himself with Sevilla, he has won a lot of trophies with Sevilla. He has that kind of really attacking streaker. So buy into your football club, he can easily win a lot of things for you. But when he came, he needed to buy in a lot of big, expensive players in the likes of Neymar from Barcelona into the football club. Okoto Neymar then buy and Koyan from the side of PSG and now Unai Emery. He won back-to-back with the French Ligue 1 Coupe de France trophy, the champions for the side of PSG Football Club. He took them into the 160 stage of the competition when it comes to the Champions League, but FC Barcelona was able to make a comeback. The remontada, they were able to make it by 6-1. And apparently Unai Emery from the football club. After that, Thomas Tuchel needed to take over from the side of PSG Football Club. One of the core things that you will actually understand from Thomas Tuchel and say when he came, he needed to stabilize everything, form a conducive environment for the football players in the PSG Football Club. We're making sure that starting up the project, Kylian Mbappe will become a tip of that particular project. Neymar will support Kylian Mbappe in that particular project. We'll take PSG to the final stage of the UEFA Champions League in 2020, but then he will lose to Hans Flick in that particular final by a goal to nil. We need the French Liga back-to-back, but then the core thing not Nasser Elklafin, Luis Ocampos, when we heard Edefri Thomas Tuchel and said he needed that particular Champions League by all facts. So when they brought him, Omokache and said he needs to win the UEFA Champions League. He failed. When he went to Chelsea, he won with them. Christopher Gattier will take over. enko ye from the side of PSG Football Club. Mauricio Pochettino munjaba vene namho ome pamono edine fro because of say the individual understanding na na was say of course between Mauricio Pochettino and most of these players no anko ye be pamono nako. Luis Enrique will take over for the football club. In fact, when Luis Enrique was coming up, on man Yahweh said, baby, a PSG Football Club, they've invested close to about $3 billion in the football club. They need to get a lot of things for the football club because when they go to Qatar, Adia Omankasa PSG as Omankasa Football Club or Omu UC, Adia brainwashing most of these people are French and as a fans, they say they want PSG Football Club to win the year for Champions League. Luis Enrique came, he understood the project, he made sure say most of these big players he will bring in a lot of these youth players into the football club. And when they came, he has been able to become successful, making sure that the French league the back-to-back, trophy the champion this particular season, the other side of PSG Football Club, Coupe de France, the side of PSG Football Club, and then he will make sure that even at the Club World Cup, making sure that most of these coaches in the side of the Club World Cup or who concede the least number of goals, he will top ahead of them. So check it currently as you speak. Club World Cup, most of these clubs are almost conceding less goals. It is about PSG conceding just 1 goal against Botafogo. The side of Botafogo for America conceded just about 3 goals per in that particular spell. Or check it the side of River Plate, also concede close to about 3 goals per in that particular level. It tells you say PSG Football Club under Luis Enrique meeting against most of these football clubs in the FIFA Club World Cup. He has been able to do something extraordinary with the PSG Football Club. But not only about all conceding less. When it comes to managers, almost wins in the Club World Cup. He is third on that particular level. And then he has been able to use just 2 football clubs to achieve that particular level. Barcelona and then PSG Football Club. Guardiola ended that first. Or the Barca, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, 11 wins in the FIFA Club World Cup currently as we speak. Or Carlo Ancelotti, or the AC Milan and the Real Madrid Football Club, 7 wins currently as we speak. Luis Enrique, 6 solid wins in the Club World Cup, making sure that the third, coach, or most of these kind of wins in the Club World Cup. So go into the final with Chelsea Football Club. That's what to me are judging as the winner of this particular season Club World Cup. Or no, everything can be close the way equally. Carlo Ancelotti's record with 77 wins at par, and then he can become the joint, most wins with the side of Carlo Ancelotti in the Club World Cup. It tells you say he is doing something exceptional. But Enra, with the side of Real Madrid Football Club, he needed to change something for himself because meeting against Xabi Alonso, Xabi Alonso any more than the side of Luis Enrique, and said the experienced nature of Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso for Bayer for Leverkusen. So Ocean big teams via Otimi Sofa against Bayern Munich last season, the Champions League, 160 of the competition. When it comes to Atlanta Mobile in the Europa League, Abrana Ono unbeaten in Europe. The side of Gasperini needed to stop him in the final of the Europa League, and then they were able to stop him. But a lot of goals are Gasperini against Bayer for Leverkusen. And meeting with the side of Luis Enrique, he needed to show himself. When it comes to experience, he has coached Barcelona before. When he Barca the Champions League, we're back the side of PSG Football, the Champions League, we're achieving a lot of continental treble, becoming the first French league club to achieve continental treble. He has achieved it with PSG Football Club. It is so when meeting with the certain Xabi Alonso, all my own dominated. So definitely, so what check ball possession and Enrique told you, MetLife Sports Stadium. The side of PSG Football Club had close to about 69 ball possession against Real Madrid Football Club, 31% when it comes to the ball possession for the side of Real Madrid Football Club. But then in terms of accurate passes, maybe America said, if you want to control the ball, you need to have a total dominance, especially in the midfield. But then Luis Enrique said, even when you want to start your transition, so you goalkeeper and Pona with them at the man side of PSG Football Club, you should learn how to pass the ball, get the ball, making sure so wait working the ball from the penalty yard box into defensive structure, no penetrating most of the passes into the midfield of PSG Mancaso posting half. 681 passes for PSG as against 306 passes for the side of Real Madrid Football Club. It tells you say they dominated against the side of Real Madrid Football Club in that particular game. Then you talk about one particular person now becoming a jewel in the midfield for the side of PSG Football Club in the side of Vitinha. He has been that kind of main man, all driving a lot of things for the side of PSG Football Club. And as I checking the heat map and the kind of things were on the side of PSG Football Club, he was able to deliver and he was able to cover most of the essential runs in the field of play for the side of PSG. Sometimes it's not only a midfielder who only with the ball, but sometimes your off-ball duties. Konya Wulusu ball na obetima fast or retrieve ball. Edema Football Club plays a major part in most of the expenses of Edema Football Club when it comes to that in the midfield. And Enra Vitinha was able to cover a lot of long ranges in that particular midfield, especially with the football parker or bottom the side of PSG Football Club. Then you talk about the network passing of Vitinha. And on the catch was in this particular current, the Club World Cup, most of these midfielders who make accurate passes, number of passes are Vitinha over 112 passes for the PSG Football Club. And with the sequential order, how he was able to make sure the passes are all progressive, they are going to the attacking third. Was very ensured. It just showed the map work. He operated from the defensive structure, moved through the mid third, making sure he was progressing most of the balls into the attacking third. But Enra, he was quite limited because he needed to shield Obi to say Yahoo Neves any favorite rules for them to free up, move the ball into the attacking third for them to score a lot of goals. Enra, someone checking even the passing lanes. All the PSG Football Club, it was actually augmented. Even at the final third delivery, he was doing very well for PSG Football Club. But boss, me can say you talk about a certain Fabian rules. They go on watch the PSG Football Club now. Checking the line sequence with me a transition one, a progressive one in the culture. It tells you when you are playing with the PSG Football Club, Luis Enrique established a typical dynasty in the midfield, just like Real Madrid Football Club or established Casemiro, Toni Kroos, and Luka Modric. It may be we had Barcelona all establishing the side of Xavi Hernandez, Andres Iniesta, and Lionel Messi in that particular midfield, and as I said, Sergio Busquets in that particular midfield. The same thing, and Luis Enrique established that kind of dynasty. So when these three people are both in the midfield, that's what they can easily have a total dominance of football against any other football club or Ombeshia. But Enra, after the game, Xabi Alonso didn't come kakra or say. The bad news is that this won't be our last loss. We will lose more times and we must accept it. We will also win a lot more times. That was the kind of conversation that Xabi Alonso did together. Not only most of the journalists. But then I want him to understand, club no bad fan. He knows the tradition of the football club. He knows the tradition of the football club. And he knows,
As one year, Mate, Kafra, Kafra na Shena ye win and court and Miadia. But Luther confirmed Simon Adingra as signing with Sunderland. Or more the official video about Monday confirming. Say we are the
5 African players.
Yeah, a few in the party, Omodi Esaba. Essay. After winning so video no simple one power. Essay. Hey, we only have some come out in the kakra.
Really happy to be here. Hello, Sunderland fans. It's Adingra. I'm really happy to be here. I can't wait to get started. I wear the light. Hello.
All right, yes, the one each about to jam the remedy amount. Men call me WhatsApp line. I'm making kakra. Good afternoon, Abu. I'm listening to live from our scene for Sunti Madrid Pani.